Hello, and welcome to Spirit Island Saturdays, where we play Spirit Island on what day of the week is it? I don't know. We'll get back to that. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, pretty much any avenue. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch, and Sentinels of Earth Prime is in active development, and you can find more information on those games at handelabra.com. It is just me today. Everyone has deserted me. Everyone. Literally everyone. Handelabra just doesn't exist anymore. I'm just here. Migrant P is busy. Seamus is away for a convention. And Jeff's teens last marching band performances today. All very good reasons, of course. But it is just me holding up the line. Holding on the line. Holding the line. Holding the line. Just me holding the line. So I don't know. I kind of like doing 4 Spirit games. John likes doing second wave. I do second wave sometimes, but doing a whole second wave thing takes hours, and I don't have hours. Well, actually I do. I have hours. I have stuff I should do, but I'm not actually like working this Saturday for once. I think I've worked like the past 2 months of Saturdays, sometimes later in the evening, sometimes right at Spirit Island Saturday time. But today I'm not working at all. I could theoretically stream as long as I want, but I do have to grade. I have a lot of exams to grade, and midterm grades are due on the 1st of November. So, griping aside, I don't know that I necessarily want to do super long stuff. The usual routine I do is I hit quick play, I hit a number of players, and I do like difficulty 8 to 10. We'll do 4, I guess. If I'm not going to do second wave, I should do 4. Last time I did 8 to 10, we got an 8 that was rather straightforward, but I don't know, like, these scare me. Because I think this could still be like a difficulty 5 adversary with not other flares, and those also scare me. I'll just hit 8 to 10, that's my standard fare. Especially with 4-player games, I probably don't want it to be super difficult, because otherwise it'll be an analysis paralysis. Well, interesting. Last time we had France on thematic. It was Dahan Insurrection, I believe. France level 1 Dahan Insurrection. I think it was France. In this case we have thematic with France, but this time it's France level 3 with the powers long forgotten scenario. Quick Play likes to put me with France in thematic, which has a bunch of challenges involved in it. They're playing with France 3, so 4 fear cards at Terror level 1, 4 at Terror level 2, 3 at Terror level 3. Or I should say tier 1. I don't know. Technically, like, these are not all Terror level 1, because once you get to the next Terror level, they'll all be at Terror level 2. We are limited to 7 towns per player, so that will be 28 in a 4-player game. Invaders win if we cannot place a town. Stage 2 escalation is the demand for new cash crops. After exploring on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain. If it has buildings, add a blight, otherwise add a town, and that's a bit interesting on thematic. Frontier Explorers, except during setup, after invaders successfully explore into a land which had no buildings, add an explorer there. Slave Labor, during setup, put the Slave Rebellion event under the top 3 cards of the event deck. After invaders build in a land with 2 explorers or more, replace all but 1 explorer there with an equal number of towns. And so the Slave Rebellion event is in the event deck. It is the 4th card from the top. And so it's up to us to remember its existence. It's very powerful if we can execute it well. And we do have some Dahan movement here, so it's pretty good. And then early plantations. During setup on each board, add a town to the highest numbered land without towns and add a town to land number 1. So extra towns start on the board. The powers long forgotten scenario. So lots of rules attached to this. Well, not really. More just that we have these things. But whenever a land has 3 Dahan or more in it, the players search it. Whenever a land has 2 invaders or more, the invaders search it. Except if we're playing against France, it instead takes 3 invaders or more to search. When a land is searched, reveal the mysterious location. If it does not have a power source, discard it, otherwise something has been found. And we reference the other side for its benefits. When you find a source of power, you may choose to hold off on using its ability. At the end of the game, you score +2 points for each one you find but never use. Setup changes. 4 mysterious locations are added to each board and lands without Dahan. Out of all the locations, a total of 1 per board plus 1 contains a source of power. The remaining locations contain nothing. So, yeah, 4 mysterious locations added to each board, so that's 16 total. But 5 of them, 1 per board is 4 plus 1 is a source of power. So you have 5 sources of power out of 16 locations. So it's about a quarter, slightly more than a quarter. And yeah, if we find it, this is the right-hand side, then we get these benefits. The invader benefits, of course, benefit the invaders, and they can be rather interesting. Perhaps the most perilous of one is leave the token in the land where it was found. This land cannot be targeted by powers for the rest of the game. That definitely makes it challenging to deal with that land. On the other hand, we have some very powerful things over here, such as spirits do not need to forget when gaining a major power, or all powers have +1 range, or spirits may shift their presence from a sands to another at any time. Much to John's dismay. Now, sands on thematics a bit weird because it's more focused on the west coasts, but we do have some sands throughout, and being able to shift in and out of any sands definitely helps a lot with targeting powers and dealing with some of these lands. That's cool. So let's get started. Those are the extra towns. We start with 8 extra, so we're already down to 13. And choose for me button. I feel like if I hit choose for me, it's just gonna... I would think this is going board by board, but I don't want to hit choose for me. So, think that... Oh, there's not actually... The lands that already have three things in them already have Dahan, so they're not eligible for this. I was going to say it is possible for this to be an auto search, but not quite just yet. So probably the lands that don't have any invaders are the best bets, especially ones that have wilds. So I think we'll just click on the completely empty lands to start with. Those seem like the best. Feels like some of these boards do have no choice, though. All right, so... And also the spirits are not on the board yet, but I'm going to presume that, you know, Earth is northwest, Keeper is southwest, Thunderspeaker is southeast. That's a good spot for Thunderspeaker. Bringer is northeast. Fairly good for getting the major power here. So if we have to choose on lands that already have a building, perhaps things that have only 1 invader in them is the best. We have to do 2 spots over here, but there's only 2 spots over here. So it's an order of operations thing. I'll put it off and see if the game will eventually automate that, but it probably won't. The other problem is that if it's a single explorer and they explore that land, other than setup, because during setup it's not going to do it, but afterwards if they explore, they're going to put a double explorer and they'll immediately explore. That's why we have this extra rule for France that says, when playing with France, you need 3. Because they'll place 2 explorers to an empty land and would basically automatically search it. On the other hand, it doesn't matter in terms of like the towns, because if they build in one of those lands, then they're just going to anyway, so there's only 1. I guess it's really just a question of like, if they do explore a sands or one of these lands, sands, jungle, or mountain, who would be best, or what would be the best for us to prevent that from exploring Let's see, so if this is Keeper's board, Keeper's presence is put in the highest numbered jungle, so that would be number 8 here, so 5 is 2 tiles away and not eligible for many things. You can only push 2 Dahan into the lands anyway. If we put it over here, it's next to that jungle. But Keeper by himself will not be able to stop the build either way. Yeah, so, I mean, if they don't explore sands or mountains on turn 1, then it doesn't matter the decision here. But if they don't explore jungle, like, if I put it in the sands, then and they don't explore sands, then I don't have to worry about this immediately. But if I put it in the jungle and they don't explore the jungle, I don't have to worry about it immediately. But on turn 2, if they, or in the explore phase, if they explore the jungle, they will immediately reveal that location. So the jungle's just going to be out. And then just like a question of which of these two. And I'm going to probably just keep it, because like having these mysterious locations right next to each other can be beneficial because it allows us to search them one after another, daisy chain it and all that. All right, so East 1 is automatically out because it has two invaders, and so if they explore jungles, they'll immediately get that. East 2 has disease and a town, so if they explore it, it's not going to get revealed right away. Otherwise, you have East 8, which it's a single explorer, so again, the problem is if they explore mountains, then that will get the double explorer and immediate thing. So the best is probably East 2. And up here, we only have 2 of them, and we need 2 more. We have 2 choices, and it seems like it's just not going to be Northeast 1 for the reason stated that if they explore sands, they'll immediately get it. So we'll do that. And then here, it's order of operations. Yeah, so it didn't automate that just because. Okay. So now we're placing our presence down. And is this actually Thunder Speaker? We were wrong. This is actually Thunder Speaker's domain. I was deceived because that's the Thunder Speaker icon, right? I heard tell. But yeah, vital strength is northeast. These do not align with where they're supposed to be. Bug report. Probably putting them in a land with all the jungles first for Thunder Speaker. I mean, you have to do 2 presents in 3 of these lands, or well, 1 in each, right? The rule is 1 in each of the 2 lands with the most Dahan. So it's really just which one of these do we not want to have. And the focus is probably going to be, since this is Thunder Speaker's board, to push Dahan into West 9, into West 10, into East 7, perhaps. West 3 and West 4 will also need to consider dealing with at some point, but if I do this, then we can wrap around over here to get these if they haven't been done yet. Plus, if we put it here in West 1, then we can do a manifestation here that will be pretty good. Also throw it with Dahan. So this is Bodon's board, and then that's Keeper's board. So yeah, they're not aligned at all. It would have been kind of nice to know which board was which before I started putting things down, but I don't think any of my decisions really mattered or changed things. I don't think. But knowing whose board is whose, like in a physical game, you would have already decided this is my board, right? So. And multiplayer, though, from what I remember playing this with Seamus the other week, we determined it board by board. Actually, it was Seamus and John, yeah. So like I had the East board, and I was making the decisions on the East board. So that made sense, at least. All right. So they explored jungles. So any immediate jungle threats? There was a wilds in Northwest 4? Oh, right, because that's Keeper. And they didn't explore that, so that's good. Northeast 5 is two invaders that's going to reveal if I don't do anything. We could just perfect stillness it. And they don't build the city, and we could then defend it with a sacred site next turn. That seems reasonable. There's no icon over here. And there's also, well, yeah. Like, I, I normally do that icon for, like, I guess, build. Let's do question mark, I guess, instead. Because, like, alright, so Northeast 2 is not building, Northeast 3 is, East 1 is, and all of these are. Technically, this one's also building, but that's the threat on the scenario threat. So we have to prevent it, and other than gaining a power card that would somehow move an explorer out, you don't have a means of doing it. Vital strength, that is. Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares is on the Dahan board. We were going to say this was a pretty good spot for... what is it? Dreams of the Dawn? No. All Midnight's Dreams. They're both Dreams cards, aren't they? Makes sense for Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares, right? Because you have a Dreams card, you have a Dreams card, you have a Nightmares card, and you have a Dream innate and a Terror innate. See how thematic it is? So we could get the major power in turn 1. If I go into East 4 and gather 2, then I would be able to have 5 energy if I wanted it. Questionable whether I want to consider that just yet. Thunder Speaker. My usual turn 1 would be Voice of Thunder and Manifestation. Wondering whether I want to... Can't do Sudden Ambush in Manifestation. I could try to prevent the build in West 8. But the problem is that I can't afford both Manifestation and Sudden Ambush. If I could play both of these, I also still wouldn't have this innate here. If I want to destroy it, oh no, this innate is the push. This one doesn't care. Okay, so if I do Voice of Thunder and Manifestation, I don't have the Gather the Warriors innate, but I can kill the town in West 8 with Lead the Furious, and then I can push 2 Dahan into West 1. So 4 Dahan with 3 presence would be 12 damage. 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. That would be enough to kill that, and that takes care of West 8 and West 1. West 5 can blight. It has nothing. Not even Mysterious Location. Seems like a pretty reasonable bet. And then the subsequent turn, try to do stuff with Gather the Warriors into West 9. Although if I do Words of Warning and Sudden Ambush next turn, we have Gather 2, push 1. Unless I got this air. If I have that air, it'd be Gather 3, and Gather 3 is enough for West 9? Okay. That seems okay. It's really hard to try to only do card plays track on Thunder Speaker, unlike River. Even though this is like set up similar to River in a sense, with the Reclaim 1 after 3 card plays. Thunder Speaker's powers are just so expensive. You kind of need some energy going on, although there's not even that much energy here. You really just need your final growth option to do out. That deals with this board. Let's go ahead and do this. Commit to it. That kills the town in West 8. We push into West 1 and we do the damage. And then we'll have to figure out if they're going to explore Sands next turn. But if we do, we have a Sudden Ambush to thwart West 9. They do West 10. It's actually going to be pretty difficult because we will not have an immediate Dahan next to it. So that might be a problem down the road. Alright, so that solves that. And then Northeast 5, the solution was to prevent the build with Year of Perfect Stillness, I presume. Next turn we'll gain them a power card, so I have to gain energy to afford Year of Perfect Stillness unless I go up here, but I would like to have 2 card plays next turn. So, and we can defend Northeast 3 with the guard the Healing Land if I want. I could also not. There's a Dahan in there, but not like big risk, is it? Also, we're not losing, right? Have to be very careful of this with France. We're not losing. There's only 5 towns being built, although some of them will die in the damage coming up. So yeah, so if I do this, I place a presence at range 1. So it's a question of where do I want my presence to be, and generally the idea would be to put a sacred site in a place to better defend that ravage that would be there on a subsequent turn. We already have it Northeast 7, which is a pretty prime spot. Northwest 8 could be a fairly good spot. If we gather Dahan, we can defend that ravage very easily if they do go in there. I mean, actually, there'll be two more explorers, and then 2 of them will turn into towns, so maybe not quite. Also, North 7 has a lot of explorers, doesn't it? Are there any, like... Yeah, East 1 is also going to be converting. That's why there's 5 towns, right? That demonstrated here? Yeah. So we're getting 2 towns in West 5, 2 towns in East 1, a town in Northeast 3. I guess preventing some of those could be reasonable, but it's not easy for any one of these spirits to do that. You don't have fast pushing or damage. I mean, since this is vital strength of the earth, it feels like mountains are your prime spot thematically. I guess I'm just gonna go into Northwest 8. Looks like a fairly good spot because that opens up visibility to Northwest 5, Northwest 6, Northwest... Actually, Northwest 9 is already seen, so it only opens up these 2, really. But it gets me onto another board, which is generally okay. That gives me a stillness for East 5. Put a check mark there, because with the sacred site, that ravage is solved. Alright, so now Keeper. Where we have no decisions about so far because... Well, because... They would like to do double growth next turn, if possible, since your ravage is already done. There's nothing happening here. The only explorer that would be problematic is Northwest 5. And if you... Yeah, you're only going to get to push 1 explorer, and if it has no explorers, add the wilds. But that's not going to happen if it's Northwest 5. Probably we do the gain a power card, place presence route, and we see what that power card is. If it's not a particularly good one, we'll take Sun off the energy track and play like Boon of Growing Power or something. Push 1 explorer, range 1 from a sacred site, mountain jungle, add a wilds. That could put the wilds in Northwest 5. That seems okay. Fire in the Sky is also really good in general, but wilds on Keeper is really hard to turn down since your presence is limited to wilds as you're spending energy. It does mean we're probably not going to like hit this innate. It does give you plant, it does give you air. You'll have range to place a wilds in a land without explorers, you just can't push them. But this seems really good. You're definitely having that sacred site. Since all these cards cost energy, then I'm not gonna go for 2 card plays here. We'll do this so I can put the wilds in Northwest 5 and thereby stop that from being a threat. If they explore that, I don't have to worry about dealing with that right away. Alright. Now Bowden. You don't really have a means of dealing with East 1. Kind of depends on what major power you get, I suppose. So I guess we do the major power thing. East 4 has an Explorer in it, so that will count for Night Terrors. East 1 has nothing next to it. No Dahan, that is, so I can't use that for all midnight streams. So I think I'll just do the major power thing and we'll track for you, since card plays is really hard to get working. So we will gather 2 Dahan, then gain a major power, and if we want to play it, we'll forget this power and gain energy for it. Otherwise, you could forget Predatory Nightmares because that is expensive for what it does. Alright, so first things first, we have to see what our fear card is. This is a point of no return. First fear card is during the next normal build, skip the lowest numbered land matching the invader card on each board. We're definitely not getting it this turn, right? Otherwise it would stop West 1 and East 1 and nothing else. Because Northeast 2 is empty and Northwest 4 is empty. Then let's get the fear before we lose elements potentially, and then gather Dahan. Doesn't matter which ones. We want to leave the things with the city in East 3. Pretty easy to defend. It's diseased and the town is strifed. If I take from East 9, is that going to make problems for getting Dahan in East 6? No, there's a lot of Dahan around there. Let's take these. And then call it midnight streams. Okay. So in terms of elements, we would like moon the most. So grant hatred is easiest for that. Or the only one that gives me the moon. Low like water could be interesting because it could have Thunder Speaker move 2 Dahan and an Explorer into West 1. That stops the build in West 8. It does mean there'll be more stuff in here, though. But then I could use Voice of Thunder to push into West 9. Bring 2 Explorers, 2 Dahan. Yeah, so you get that in there. It is going to make this build a bit worse. It's not going to put a town and a city down and replace this Explorer with a town. But we still have our town destroy, right? So city, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. No, I actually have enough damage to kill everything in there already. The flow like water is reasonable for that. Cleansing floods, range 1 from a wetland. We are in a wetland. Strangling firevine, range 1 from a sands. We are in a sand. That does put wilds down, which helps with Keeper. I think Keeper's actually have enough range. Where he is right now. So all the wilds I put down is not visible to Keeper just yet. Wilds is pretty good. Damage per wilds. So it doesn't actually destroy any of the explorers. It doesn't actually destroy any buildings, but it pushes stuff. And so since this is slow, that's going to happen after we get the city and the town in here. So we'll kill 1 explorer, quote unquote, which pushes it, and we do 2 damage, which will destroy, quote unquote, a town, generating 2 fear and pushing that as well. So we'll be left with a city and a town in East 1. Not really going to do that much for me. I feel like Flow Like Waters at least has the most utility right now. Cleansing Floods can remove a blight, like do damage in East 3. Not damage, but fear. But it's limited with range 1 wetlands. You are on the wetlands board at least, so that's at least okay. I kind of like Flow Like Water. Willing to forget Call in Midnight Streams to play that this turn. And so we can now do this on Thunder Speaker to move your presence over here. Also, moving Dahan could reveal mysterious locations. There's another benefit of this. In fact, we are going to get this location this turn now. Known as that. Orienting landscape, that. All the powers. They are exploring the mountains. So the good news is we put the wilds in northwest, so they're not going to be an immediate threat in northwest 5. The bad news is there is an east mountain. That's a bad place to be. Also, northeast 7 is going to have like 5 towns in it after they build. Quite a lot. But we can actually spread wilds into here if we want. Since this place is a wilds anyway. Get the wilds back in case we want to grow into there. I'm not sure we do, but that's a thought. So let's reveal this thing first. And before we do that, this is all my presents, right? Yeah, presents, yeah. I have a town destroy here, but I don't think it's gonna matter. We could push into West 5 and defend that, but revealing this location seems better. Plan was the daisy chain over here, and this land is empty, so it could blight and be fine. This is probably gonna have to be dealt with, I guess, next turn. We might need Thunder Speaker to do something with sudden ambush next turn. But your presence is kind of limited for that. We could push one Dahan into West 5, and then sudden ambush into West 6 next. I don't know. Let's do this. Okay. If I were to put stuff in West 5, I would kill both towns with Lead the Furious. Pushes 4 Dahan, I would do that. And then, yeah, then 4 in West 5. Dahan in West 6. Ambush only gathers 1. Kills 2 explorers, but that stops 2 towns. West 10 is also a threat, isn't it? About those two. We could sudden ambush into West 10. Stop that explorer. Or reveal. I keep forgetting what the words are. Search. Stop the search. Mysterious location, search, source of power. Any other threats? This one is a threat. And then there's just, you know, all these builds in the mountains. Really kind of annoying to have mountains be revealed early because that puts them in the inner land and that makes them hard to deal with. Another thought about Keeper's Presence is that since your sacred sites push Dahan, we can use that to reveal mysterious locations. Right? For mysterious locations. Yay! Nice. The right thing. We could do that to reveal the mysterious locations and see if they're sources of power. But first we have to place the presence at range 3 into a land with wilds, and then we can place a second presence. And this is his range 2. So is there anything that I could go into and then push Dahan to reveal? I guess theoretically northeast 7. Except there's explorers in there, so I can't. And like all of these are going to have not that many Dahan in them. Doesn't seem like I will have good Dahan pushing for that. Only fast power you have here is Sacrosanct Wilderness to push to Dahan. damage per wilds or add a wilds. We could combo that with the sacred site Dahan push. So like if I were to put my sacred site here, I could push 2 Dahan into here, and then I can push 1 Dahan out of here into Northwest 5. Thereby getting that. Start swooping up the ones over here. And it's really easy for you to do that turn by turn with sacred sites. Easiest would be Northwest 5 into Northwest 2 into Northwest 3 into Northwest 4. Of course, that doesn't really address like Northwest 8 at all. Also, we're building 20 towns next turn. Hmm. 20 towns when we can only place 12. Yep, that does mean we have to solve some of the stuff. Northeast 7 is building 5 towns, right? That's probably a manifestation, or yeah, Rituals of Destruction target. It's only 5 damage though, versus 11 health of invaders. We can defend it with Guard to Healing Land plus Sacred Site. And then we don't really have a solution on Bringer's board for East 7 at all. Or even East 6. Those are both bad spots. Comes down to what power you find, I suppose. I mean, theoretically, we could reclaim Flow Like Water. The main problem with that is you don't gain power cards in doing so. And you don't really get extra presence. You just get, like, sacred sites and super sacred sites and stuff, so you don't get extra visibility. I mean, you do get presence, but only 1 into a land you're already in. Theoretically, with Flow Like Water, you can, of course, move wherever you want to be, but this only pushes 2 Dahan. Or rather, moves Dahan with the pushed presence. So it's not going to be particularly good for like getting Dahan into East 7 or into East 6. If I could have someone put a presence in one of those lands, then we can move the 2 explorers out, and that stops 2 of the builds. 2 of the towns, that is. We can just do it from Northeast 7, but yeah, I'd like to prevent one of those if possible, or yeah, because we're currently not really doing anything anywhere with those. Plus 10 doesn't have Dawn here. Theoretically, Thunder Speaker doesn't need to take energy growth this turn. Try to do something with putting presence into land with Dahan. I think that really helps your visibility, though. Doesn't help you get like into here. That's super helpful either. So, yeah, it seems like because of this town risk right now, we have to deal with West 5 and mitigate West 6 more so than reveal West 9. That really bites. Although there's still Dahan over here, we could eventually move over to scoop these up. So I feel like we're pushing... here? Furious Assaulting to kill 2 of the towns. And the problem is if you do this growth option, you're gonna not have much energy on your reclaim. We do want the air so we can gather into like West 4 and get on there at least. And it bites. Let's do this plan. Hope that this mysterious power is good. We're currently at 20 towns with 14 on the card, though. I don't know what we can do. Like, we could reclaim on Vital Strength to do Perfect Stillness in Northeast 7. That will stop 5 towns. Which means that we're only 1 town off from losing, at the very least. And with sudden ambush into West 6, we stop 2 towns and then we're fine pending the event. I'm gonna say let's do Keeper to what Northwest 6 to reveal Northwest 5, but actually that's not gonna work because we need the but we're gonna do that for sure, right? So let's do that. Pushing per Dahan. That would deal with Northeast 7 really well. Very important for this turn. Really important for this turn. More energy. Called Isolation Northeast 7 stops a lot of builds. Of course, it not enough because there's only 3 Dahan here. I can push 3. No, stop 3 towns. But the solution that we have is Perfect Stillness. And yeah. The other play was going to be Sacrosanct into Northwest 1 to push the Dahan into Northwest 5 and reveal that mysterious location, but that's not a priority if we're losing. Underspeaker is not getting any power cards. So that's out. Ringer, are you gonna reclaim? Is the is the flow like water gonna matter for this turn? I guess theoretically we can do that in combination with sudden ambush to get a lot of stuff killed in West 6. Also, this is a corner, right? Is it? I think this is not a corner. I think. So, like, the reason I ask is that Northeast 6 and West 6 are not adjacent because that's not a corner. It's like, it would be a corner, but it's not? Question mark? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the corners are supposed to be adjacent, but I'm not sure if that's technically a corner or not. But these are the same shape as the normal boards, so it has to be a corner, right? Has to be. It has to be. Does it look different if I change the look here? Is that a corner? It's a thicker border. It looks the same. Impossible to know. Alright, let's do never actually do this, but 2D. Also, this scrolls so much faster in 2D. Crap. That still doesn't help. That still looks like it's not a corner. What 3D Classic? I like the texture. This looks, yeah, this looks too flat. I like 3D textured. That said, this mountain over here looks a bit weird. Oh, you know why? I think I know why that it's a bit awkward. Because even though these are the same shapes, these boards actually overlap more than they would normally. So like, this is a bit of a weird shape, but that's because it's not actually the, like the board itself actually does have this line here, or the board ends here, and this is technically a part of the east board. But on the thematic map, because, you know, thematic meaning realistic, it's not going to have as clean divisions as it would in a normal. Actually, let's leave it like this. It's been a while since I've done that. And also, about the playmat. I'm just killing time over here. Do wood. I feel like I'm playing on a table right now. Nice. So different from what we were at before. Alright. Although isolation doesn't have to go into Northeast 7, by the way. You know, I wonder if it's better to have done that until like Northwest 8. I pushed 2 Dahan into here. Well, if I put him here and I call the isolation this, and that stops this build entirely. Honestly seems really good. So I need to undo this presence. And I can still end up, I'm not gonna get the reveal in Northwest 5, but I can get it next turn if I do Sacred Site Northwest 8, push into here, and then Sacred Site here, push into there. So we can get that started based off of these. And those explorers could go anywhere. Keep them in Thunder Speaker's board, I suppose. That deals with that. That was 3 towns, so that's no longer 3 towns. We're now at 17 towns with a cap of 14. You have to play a plant card, but all my cards. Like to not spend 3 energy. I mean, like, Northwest 5 would be a great spot for that Towering Wrath, but there's nothing in there. Light near me, so regrow is not going to do much. So it's either boon of growing power or second. I do that to put a wilds down. There's a super great wilds target other than Northwest 2, because if they do Sands next, then with the build they would reveal that. I guess West 4 would stop this Explorer as well. Probably thought then. Yeah, Thunder Speaker's question is only which growth option to take, and none of them are going to give power cards. Odin's question is, are you going to reclaim 1 card to make Sudden Ambush better? That would stop 3 builds, or 3 towns here. This down to 14 would be tied, and I don't need to reclaim Perfect Stillness. So let's do this and see. If it's a defend card, then we remove a town from Northeast 3 with it. Although playing Draw the Fruitful Earth plus Rituals could be good. Does that give me the first tier threshold? It does, so I could repeat this. And that would reveal a location. I think we're okay doing this. We don't need to reclaim. All of these are slow. None of these have plant. These two have earth. That's the most important element for this track. But is it that important? Scour the land, destroys a bunch of towns, and a bunch of explorers. We could do that instead of rituals. Although there would still be too many towns in Northeast 7. But if we... Oh, there'll only be 2 towns left over, and then put the sacred site back in there, because we'll lose a presence in there, but I put the sacred site back in there. That's defended pending the event. That way I don't have to guard the healing land on that, so I could guard the healing land somewhere else. But if I were to guard the healing land Northeast 3 this turn, I could save Draw the Fruitful Earth and Rituals of Destruction for next turn. I guess the problem is Northeast 6 would blight. And then I guess none of these actually deal with the lands that we were talking about down here, but yeah, that was just not going to happen. I'm going to take this one then. That's now defended. Oh, and I guess I'm playing Draw this turn anyway. Guard the Healing Rituals next turn. Oh yeah, I can't defend Northeast 3. I don't have enough defense. So that is a lost Dahan. Okay, we have these Dahan to scoop up these anyway. Stops a build somewhere in the slow phase, I'm sure, depending on where they explore, of course. So I guess if I get the Fear card, we skip the lowest numbered land matching the Invader card. They would skip West 6. We get that. They would skip East 6. And that stops that. Let's see. Mark those. Yeah, so Northwest 5 unfortunately is already dealt with. But we would stop 2 towns in Northeast 6. We would stop 2 towns in Northeast 8. This was already potentially dealt with. But if they're not building in there, then I don't have to reclaim. You only need 5 fear. Odin has a defend card that generates a fear, and the innates that will generate 2 more fear. That's 3 fear. Maybe we get a power card that generates fear. Don't generate fear. We'd have to generate more fear. Fear generation. For any of the minor powers we saw fear generation. And by that I mean fast fear generation. You did get a major, or sorry, not major. You got a power. So we have these. These were turn 1s, right? Yeah. This is turn. This was someone's, and then we have another one. I think Enticing Splendor was with Keeper, so these were the Vital Strength ones. Those are all slow, was one problem. This generates fear, defends mountain jungle. Let me hit back on this. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Definitely doing that. I guess the problem is called isolation. While it doesn't generate fear, it was dealing with 3 towns in Northwest 8. And I can't move from that. But if we can stop the West 6 build with fear, then I don't need to reclaim flow like water. This doesn't generate fear. But yeah, the problem is we don't have fear. This is my fear. 1, 2, 3. Can I get Bringer into Northeast 3? I would have to take the last growth option, and that doesn't give me a new power card. Because I could defend Northeast 3, and that removes a town. But do we get this? We get this. Or no, right, no, we're getting the fear card reveal. That's what it is. Not the extra element one. We're gonna get 2 fear off that, but we need 3 more. 2 more because of Dread Apparitions. There has to be a minor power that gives me fear, right? Right? Go for it. That's not fair. Swing and a miss. Call to Migrate would be really good. If we can survive this turn. It is a big question mark now. I might have goofed. Tap the strength, I immediately have the threshold. I'll take Call to Migrate. That beneficial, right? Visions of Fiery Doom pushes something at range 1 or range 0. Doesn't seem promising. I guess I would stop the thing in the East 6. Or East 7, depending on what I care about. One presence though. Could defend Northeast 3 with Thunder Speaker, assuming these are adjacent. They are. I'll do this because I'm not energy. The Words of Warning defends this, and that removes 1 town. Sudden Ambush removes 2 towns, or rather prevents 2 towns. It's at 18 towns being built with 15 on the card. Call to Isolation. Still is most promising in North 7. That puts that 18 down to 15 with 15 on the card. That's the best we can do. I think we're gonna gather Dahan in East 2 into East 5 or something with all the migrate. We're not generating the fear, I think. Big gamble that the event card gives me fear. The defend's not gonna do anything. Not enough for East 1 at all, and there's no Dahan in there, and you can't get close to a jungle that is ravaging. I'm gonna play Call to Migrate and probably Predatory Nightmares. But yeah, we're gonna get, the invaders are gonna get 3 searches, and I can't stop that. I wanna move this to a land. I want to save the range 0 presence for reclaim 1 if I decide to do that. So dread apparitions in the east 7 or into east 6 for next turn, I guess, but that's not really a threat. Also, it's going to be a bit of, like, yeah, there's no Dahan in there. There's nothing in there. Which blade are we getting this turn to? Yeah, so we're not biting the island just yet. 8 is also a terrible build, isn't it? But I'm not doing anything with any of those. Hopefully I don't lose. Okay. Oh, I was moving from there, my bad. I knew that was what I was planning on, I just forgot. We're going to be pushing Dahan with my Sacred Site, so I don't need to push the Dahan with this unless it's going into his jungle somehow. Not. That's just going to be a Wilds. Wilds here. Cities do plus damage, add disease, ignore disease. Fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumber buildings. That might give us the fear. Fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumber buildings. So west 5, west 6, east 4, east 10. Yeah, that's 2 fear. Or 4 fear. Alright, so we do stop builds with this then. Add disease, ignore disease. Since we are ignoring it, then it's just kind of going to go in places where it would be useful down the road. Yay! That saves us a lot of towns. And they reveal this. It was empty, I guess. I didn't see it. Oh boy. For purposes of explore and build, invaders in any sands are considered to be in all sands. Oh no, that's really bad. We could have had the sands one where we could have shifted our presence among the sands, but we don't. Oh good, they're exploring the sands. Awesome! So by the way, if any sands has an invader, then they're automatically building in all lands. Automatically. And also, some of those are going to be cities. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We could have had that. But we just could not have prevented that. We just did not have the means. Oh well. At least we didn't lose. There's 5 towns. The build's a bit awkward because, like... yeah, it's saying city everywhere. Sort of. Right? Like, oh, that's just... and like, yeah, and then the explorers convert to town. So it's saying city everywhere, but that's not quite true. It's just saying that there's more towns than cities in the sands. Oh, jeez. So it says like, so it's 5 towns from Explorer conversion, and then it's going to be 7 more builds. It might all be cities at that point if we do the town conversion first, and then the rest will be cities. That seems terrible. Terrible. Can I somehow get an extra town in the Northeast 7? We're only destroying 2 or 3, right? Oh, by the way, that's Thunder Speaker's presence. Let's perhaps save that presence. Although the plan was maybe to scoop presence somewhere else, but you're gathering 3. I suppose we can gather into East 9. Where else could we go? There's no other things. Let's me gather here. Save the Thunder Speaker presence. They successfully didn't build in the East 6. We could let that just ravage and save the Dahan so that Thunder Speaker doesn't lose presence. We need to perhaps defend East 6. This is... Hey, we got it. Do not need to forget when gaining a major power. Good. At least we got one. Whenever a building's added to a jungle or wetland without buildings, also add a lake. Well, thank God we didn't get that one. Let's just push per sun, so it's only push 1. Not really going to be super useful. Unless I can get more into East 5 some. I guess, yeah, I could push those two. I could do the damage in the... Yeah, okay. I'll do this. Get you into the sands. We'll do the damage here. Do not push the explorers in the East 5 though, please, for the love of God. And then push the Dahan into here. Daisy chaining, and we reveal nothing. But that was likely to happen anyway. There were 2 revealed by invaders, 2 revealed by us. So there's 12 locations left on the board. 3 of them have things. So yeah, it's a 25% shot. We do have Call to Migrate, I suppose, that I could have used for that instead. I can do it here to scoop into West 9 at least. Although actually no, there's only West 7 next to that. Or no, West 9 is. Oh, but there's nothing in West 9. Dang. Maybe I should have thought about that before I did stuff. I could have scooped this and this instead of having to do what I did, but oh well. Guess I have this that I could perhaps try to use together with Bringer, but I don't really have visibility to anything close by. Bearing in mind you can gather into the land and then push out of that land, so really we can look 1 away from this. But it's not a way to think here. And yeah, all the sands are building. Like all of them, because there's invaders in sand. Huh. Pretty terrible. We can at least do our best to stop the searches. Also, we're in stage 2, so we do need to be mindful of Jungle Explorer will reveal Northeast 5. And the escalations are, you know, a thing. If they explore sands, like they're all gonna have buildings. So it's just an automatic blight in sands. That's what we have to look forward to. Yay! Can I defend any of these with Bringer? I think the answer is no. I mean, Dread Apparitions is range 1, but I need here at range 1 as well, which I don't have right now. Sudden ambush with Thunder Speaker in the East 5 is probably a good shot. To deal with West 9. This is range 2 push person, so it's range 2 push 1 explorer. I think we're fine to do this now, since we moved Thunder Speaker out at least. So yeah, in terms of the builds, we do this so that the towns always outnumber the cities, then one second. All right, sorry about that. Read a message. I Dragonus, by the way. Oh, that's the iPad thing. I was thinking, isn't there a thing about dragging here? Oh, you can put tokens like this. Cool. Not tokens, but the icons. Draw into there. So I want to take those Dahan because we're gonna push them with a sacred site in the next turn. I want to take those because they need to be defended for the Ravage. I can stop the Northeast 8 with the draw. I mean, it doesn't stop the build, but it stops the reveal. S9 is just too far away from everyone. Those are building, but they're not at risk. That is diseased, but if they explore sands, it's at risk. Yeah, so the question was like, where am I putting the wilds, I suppose? We could put it here. Not really gonna stop a build anywhere. You don't have range there, no? So just do it here. Problem is, I don't really want you to go into any of these, I guess. But if they explore mountains, that's bad. But if we're gonna get Dahan in there with the push, then the Dahan killed things anyway. And we're also gonna reveal that anyway, so that's fine. Okay. So draw for this. This is going to be a pretty bad place. Those. Yeah, we still have the call to migrate, I suppose. We should have done this before we did anything, so let's go back a step. Because the question was about the call to migrate. This as far back as I can go now. Because I can just reveal this. It'd be nice if I could have comboed that with East 5, but I didn't do that. I can hit this, but I can only gather 2 Dahan, right? And that's not enough to get into West 9. Can't hit those. Just too far away from everything right now. I guess the best thing I can do is to get Dahan in the East 2 to reveal that. Let's take from the big stack and then push the rest into East 1 probably. Hey, that's really good. All right. I also haven't clicked use on any of these yet. Or did we? I think I already hit. That's fine. I'm not worried about points. Alright, so each spirit gains +2 energy during any spirit phase that they do not reclaim cards. So that's going to be really helpful for a lot of these spirits. We also, oh boy, we're not forgetting when we gain a major power, we also gain energy. So we're going to be super energy rich this game. We can just take major powers for days. Thunder Speaker's reclaim 1 is sad, but you don't have to reclaim the 1 on that. But Bowden's not reclaiming, Keeper's not reclaiming, Vital Strength is not reclaiming. This could be major power turn, and that could solve some of our problems here. That is really strong. I'm going to put the Dahan in East 1 because I presume that we are going to eventually have to deal with that land, and Thunder Speaker is the best equipped at dealing with lands on the fly. And now we do the stuff. Cool. Thing I have to think about is, are we not reclaiming? Are we gonna play these 2 powers with Vital Strength? You're only getting +2 energy. Only +2 energy, but like 2, 2, 4, 5. You're gonna have 5 energy, unless you take +1 there, so be at 6. If you're playing rituals, which you're very likely to. Well, there isn't even a good spot for rituals. Well, okay, the one who's absolutely doing things is this one. And that's also going to reveal a mysterious location. But I didn't put the wilds there. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to put the wilds where I was going to do it. It has to go here. Forgot about that rule. It's a very important rule that I forgot about. Probably should have put the presents down first. You are in a jungle. Trees and stones. Oh, but I'm looking at the wrong elements. This would be nice for Vital Strength. You are getting that plant most likely. And if you play Boon of Growing Power, you get Jungle Hungers. It's a pretty nice power for you to have, but Big Earth Breaking Down, but you don't have another animal. Trees and stones. You have innate sun, you're gonna have innate plants. You get this with regrow. You can only push 2 Dahan. It's tough, actually. I mean, Jungle Hunger is probably the... Oh. Also Tsunami, but Tsunami not for consideration here. It would be sort of nice, but... you don't have the water for that threshold. I should have placed the presents first, because I have to actually do this before I can place the presents, and it seems like knowing what this power is, if it's a power source, would inform this decision, but I clicked too quickly. I just normally take the power card first, because the presents placement usually doesn't matter as much, but both of those are important here. Although the only decision is the card. Theoretically, I don't have... Well, I do want to reveal Northwest 5. I feel like not taking Vigor or Trees and Stones is pretty bad for this scenario. But on the other hand, Jungle Hungers. But it's not going to do that much for Northwest 2, which is really the only thing. Would that do anything into Northwest 9? If I were to forego this reveal and push the Dahan into here, then Trees and Stones solves Northwest 9. I could also do Vigor into Northwest 1 to kill the town. Oh, but they're... that's the build, it's not the Ravage. Tough one. These are all really good powers, except for Tsunami. Sorry, Seamus. So this is range 3 presence to land without blight. So you are quite mobile with this. But again, like, I'm not actually stopping any builds with this because all the sands are building, because all the sands are one land to the invaders. Vigor would be so nice to have with the threshold, but I'm not getting it with the threshold. Kind of wish that Thunder Speaker was looking at these, because Thunder Speaker would love Vigor or Trees and Stone, or both. You do at least have a animal card called Isolation. On a future turn, you could use Vigor with Threshold very easily. Such as next turn, if we can't do the Sacred Site in Northwest 5 if we do that. Sure. I'd like to see what the other spirits are doing, but knowing what this source is it actually that important, or would I look at other first? I feel like the other majors that might actually be more important. UH. Paralyzing Fright for this scenario. Or for this adversary, rather. Skip all actions in target land. Range 1 Sacred Site. Do that in Northeast 8. Not really like the best place for it, but like if they do reveal sands, then like that will be a hot commodity. Indomitable Claim. Could just defend Northwest 9 for me. Also puts presence down, which is generally really good. Gives you a sun and an earth. But not a plant, which you also would like. We can take Entwined Power, which is normally pretty... I feel like this has been pretty meh. Like, it first sounds really exciting, but I feel like for a major power, it's very situational, and I haven't really run into too many situations with it. But since we can take major powers very easily, 3 major powers for 2 spirits could be pretty good. Plus, if we run into the situation where Keeper's like, oh, look at these powers that would have been good for Thunder Speaker, we can actually gift them to each other. Problem is you need 4 plant, which means you need 4 card plays, and that's your limit. You need to play 4 plant cards, which most of your cards are. But Paralyzing Fight is the upgrade to Perfect Stillness, but we don't need to forget it, which is cool. But it is here. I guess the other thing to consider is that you're only gonna have 6 energy, aren't you? 1 here, 3 here, 2 from scenario, so you're gonna be at 6. So if you're gonna play, you know, one of these cards and one of these cards, the only one that would work is Entwined Power. Odin, you're not reclaiming a card, right? You're just gonna take the free major. Fake damage. Just before you get excited, this is fake damage. Instruments of their own ruin in their nightmares. We could do Plague Stack, I suppose. Disease. For each disease, defend 1 in target land and adjacent land. Not going to be enough for these lands, though. Plus, well, you could have a Sacred Site. Wanted. About elements. Death falls gently. Bit of a weird one. There will be invaders remaining, most likely. Especially if we're getting a city in All Sands. Gives you moon and air, not animal. Turn, you're getting a moon. Instruments of their own give strife. And even if it's fake damage, it still generates fear. If I put it into the city in East 1, then we push a town and explorer out of that. None of these thresholds are meetable. What we currently have, and none of these fast powers generate fear. I suppose we go like do Plague Stock into Northeast 6. That would help defend Northeast 7, even with the Sacred Site. It help guards against that. Throws a little bit more into Northwest 9 and 2. Or can get another defend 2 into there. It'd be more if we do Trees and Stones with an extra Dahan. Though we were hoping to get the reveal into Northwest 5. I think I do take Trees and Stones. Not forget. I take Mind Power, do not forget. Problem with Bloodrack Plague is could throw it into like East 5 and that stops the city and the town conversion, although you're gonna sudden ambush in there most likely. We could, not really a good place for you to sudden ambush other than like that. Much play Arena's turn? 6 plus a cascade. Yikes. But that's right. That's the cascade, and we could like work on defending those two is what we're thinking about. Alright, does sort of help with this. This is range 1 sacred site, so I need to actually turn East 10 into a sacred site for that to work. Oh no, it's East 9. Oh, but I think we learned that that's actually adjacent. Sorry, the East 10 is adjacent to that one. That this is actually a corner, even though it slightly doesn't look like it. Double check that. Actually, let me rewind a sec. Let me go back to Keeper's power. There we go. Bowden, and then Battle Strength, and then here's Keeper, right? Yeah, so Keeper takes this. Do not forget. And then you can place a presence. Am I going to reveal this mysterious power, though? I feel like defending this is okay. Gets rid of a town. Getting rid of 2 towns over here. So we get rid of some interland visibility, sort of, by dealing with these ravages now versus not dealing with them. I'll keep 2 Dahan over here. I think we only need the 2. This will defend 4, right? And then... Alright, so we have... Just need an earth. See this one? We get this threshold, we can push it to improve a defend. We don't necessarily need Blood Rack Plague, but we can push the extra Dahan into North 7. I think. I'm not revealing this, so yeah, I didn't have to unwind to rewind, but just in case I was gonna do that. I don't actually need that, but better energy sustain, I guess. We have an entwined power. We're not hitting the threshold, so we can't gift it, but we are getting powers, at least. And we do get to target off of other spirits things, which actually could matter. Is a guard to healing land going to be meaningful? Targeting off of another spirit's sacred site? We could defend Northwest 9 with that instead of trying to use trees and stones for that. So I can actually get the mysterious power in Northwest 5. Okay, so I think then, okay. I do rewind again. Let's rewind one more time. Rewind again so we get to bringers, or to keeper's power just to make sure. So I get that. Do not forget. And then I place the presence. And that's when we go to the races. All that for nothing. Great. So like defending this is actually not even gonna do that much, it turns out. All right. I don't actually need this sacred site. Or do I? I guess I'm not entwining with Odin. I'll do that just to be safe. Also, Thunder Speaker's gaining powers. Oh. Actually, no, we don't have to rewind for all that. Fine. Alright, I'm gonna stick with the rule of 1 minor, 1 major, especially because you don't really have energy. You're only gonna have 3. You reclaimed, so you're not gaining the bonus. Call to Bloodshed, hello. That's a click. That's an instant click. Still gonna give you a major, though. Dissolve the bonds. Manifest Incarnation. Power Storm, though. Power Storm do things? It is pretty good elements for you, right? I mean, not the fire. Well, slightly fire. You get sun, you get an air. Your other card play would have to be Voice of Thunder, which gives you another sun, another air. So you don't get the animal. Have 3 air, 2 sun, fire. So you can do Town Destroy at least. push 3, gather 2 Dahan. Power Storm. So with Power Storm, what does that do? Not losing. Be nice if I could reveal Northwest 2. Just in case, like, I mean, there's a disease there, but just in case they explore sands or coastal. 50. Nice to stop West 9. That is very unlikely to happen. I guess I was kind of sudden ambush in East 5 and then I didn't, but that's okay. Not really at risk of there. I was thinking of trees and stonesing from West 9 7, but I wonder if Northeast 7 is into Northwest 9 actually. Still have the entwined power. These lands are just, there's too much happening in them. If I were to entwine Vital Strength with Thunder Speaker, would that make Furious Assault do anything? You're not really in any land that there's for that. So also a question of who wants to have a free power. Bowden actually, I mean, other than the fact that we were thinking of doing Guard the Healing Land in the Northwest 9, Bowden would actually be a good entwined spot because that means he gets a major power and doesn't have to reclaim next turn. If I were to do Trees and Stones twice into Northeast 7, I kill those 2 towns and I push into Northwest 9 twice. There's gonna be defend 4 from those 2 Dahan. And Bloodrack Plague defends the other 2. And that kills everything in that land. That solves those. This is also defended with Bloodrack Plague. This defended in case the event does something bad. So yeah, the only blight that's happening is over here. But yeah, we still haven't like stopped the exploring, and I can't, or revealing, and I don't see a way of dealing with that. We have a Dread Apparitions. It exists. Cool. That would be a reason to be tied with Bowden. Although this is still defended anyway, but actually there's like no reason to. There's no, yeah, there's just like, just give up power to Bowden so that he doesn't have to reclaim next turn. Takeaway I'm getting. So one of these goes to Vital Strength, one of these goes to Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. Twisted Flowers. Gives you moon, air, not animal, sea monsters. On one hand, it doesn't give moon or air. On the other hand, it's sea monsters. Unrelenting growth for really fast presence. Vitality. Good vital strength elements. But it's gonna be Twisted Flowers, right? Because that's fear, that's strife, and it removes invaders, which bypasses the Bowden rule. On the other hand, it's not sea monsters. Not really well equipped for sea monsters, though. The beasts are not coastal. There is one beast here in the wetland, but super fast growth, I suppose. Well, infinite vitality makes sense. Make it. It does prevent blight from being placed on a land. Rituals, we will hit the repeat on energy 1 if I play that, right? Earthen plant, and I will. They'll have that earthen plant. Okay. I'm now entwined. I should look at the fear card, I suppose. We're not getting any elements. I don't think enemy decisions are going to change. Add strife in a different land with at least 2 invaders. Okay. And push up to 2 Dahan, moving the defend effect with. I can't. I might as well do it here, but actually. Fine, I'll do it. Choose for me. What does choose for me do? It kills the town. Cool. Yay. Actually, no, I don't push any. Because the reason is I do this, kills the other town, and then I push both. That defends that. So the only blight is happening down here, and you don't have any range. Oh, you have range of that one. There's a Bowden, right? Any chance that we'll have enough defend with the fear card? Ooh. Oh, no, it's next turn. Next turn is the uprising. I felt like I almost forgot about that. That would have been very important to know, but no, we're not getting it. And actually that fear card, if I'm getting it, which I'm not, am I? If I were getting that fear card, we're putting a strife in a land with at least 2 different invaders. That would grow really well with East 5 because, like, then with the event, maybe not that important for that. Never. I think I just do blight removal with this then. This defend, like, I guess pending the event, it could go bad. But do some blight cleanup if I can't do anything else reasonable with that. Alright. Hounds do +1 damage. That doesn't actually stop or cause problems there. That's 1 damage now, but it's still defended, and all of those are still blighted, and yeah. Each beast destroys an explorer. Add beasts to a board without 1. There. Add Dahan to a jungle or wetland with Dahan. That's the forced decision there. Not as forced. That's not as forced. That's not forced. Jungle or wetland? Since none of these are going to reveal, right? It could have if we had set this up better. I mean, we do have to worry about these someday, so we'll throw one there. Throw that there, because it could be done things with Odin someday. Well, these are searched already. Are you there? No fear card for us. Means that we're not going to get the extra strife in time for the slave rebellion. Alright, order matters. Presently, there are more towns than cities. And if I want to minimize the number of towns, which is probably really important, even though normally you would really not want to have cities, then I think we focus on explorer conversions first. Oh yeah, and also that. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Oh man, they got two, we got two. On each board, in the land with the most buildings, destroy all Dahan and spirit tokens and add a blight. Okay. On each board. So the order did actually matter for that. Both of these are blighted. We're gonna blight the island with this. Only choice there. Yeah, these are cascades. I don't want to lose those 3 Dahan. This cascade's gonna kill a presence. Maybe I should have put you in here, but then I don't have a defend for that next turn. Let's see what it is. Blight card. Immediately on each board, destroy a beast, and then add more blight. Yay! Yay! Add blight to land with buildings, but at least there's no like destroy presence or forget powers effect, right? 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 Well, we got cleanup to do now. Do I need that sacred site? I don't think I need the sacred site. Can I do? Or can I undo all? Oh, geez. Alright, I think that's the last of the floors. The rest of these are cities. Nope, that's a town. The order sort of matters, I guess. I'm not gonna think too much, I'm just gonna click. Alright, so it's jungles. Could be worse. Oh, they're revealing. Okay, they didn't get that. There's one mysterious power left. Or one power source left. One mysterious location. Or one power source out of the remaining mysterious locations. Unfortunately, this is the only jungle on this board, so they're immediately going to get that. Nothing. Go into that one because Thunder Speaker's there. This is, well, a blight. Great. Let's put you there. And then blight. Great. Okay, well, we put like 23 blight on the board that turn, approximately. But I have good news. I can remove blight. We don't have a good slow phase here. I can destroy a town or 2 towns. So like, yeah, we're getting 13 blight next turn. That's yep, that's all the blight. Yep, Eronies. We have the Slave Rebellion coming up. That helps a bit. And Slave Rebellion, this guy. Slave Rebellion, one of those guys. We're probably going to do Furious Assault into East 5. Defend it with Wards of Warning next turn. Oh, there's 2 cities in there. That's a lot of cities. That's a lot of cities. Grow only from jungle or wetland. Not entwined with Bowden, so it's only from your visibility, and so it's probably just going to be this land. One that makes sense. We push 1 explorer, range 2. If it has no explorers, add a wilds. So we want to push here, so we got to put... Oh, I guess we don't have to, because we can do our second growth first. I think I want to make sure that they don't explore that. Well, I'm going to push into there probably, so it doesn't matter. Where do I want you to be? Sands is like so bad because they will always build sands until we have like things under control, which I'm not sure if we'll ever reach that point now. That one. That at least does something. Can we push to reveal a mysterious power source? Or a power source, not mysterious power source? Can. Although if I do that, I'm gonna have to defend that next turn as well. Feels like Bowden's gonna have to reclaim. And if you're gonna reclaim, you might as well reclaim all. Because we want you to minimize reclaim turns so you get +2 energy. Getting you to reclaim Bloodrock Plague or thing will be helpful. Bloodrock Plague in the East 2 would defend 4 into East 5, but still not quite enough. But then if you have Red Apparition, then you work on that as well. Okay, then. So then I could get Thunder Speaker into here and defend with Dahan then. Okay. Or maybe not Thunder Speaker directly, but I need 3 Dahan. And we got nothing, as expected. And we're definitely doing that there still. We need to defend 7. I think we might have enough with the defend from Bowden then. Alright, so we're gonna do the Slave Rebellion there and there. Okay, well, let's get this reveal first, which does require me to gain a power card though. You're definitely playing 3 cards, right? Gonna be at 9 energy, so 5 to spare, so it can be major. Tiger's hunting. There's no beasts. We killed a lot of the beasts with the blight card. You are in a mountain. Wetland at a blight. Can't really do it into Northwest 4 without losing your presence. But it would stop the build there. Which therefore stops 2 towns. Which, by the way, how many towns are we building? Just 11? And we only have a card. Excellent. Okay. That informs me. Yeah, I could totally lose my presence. Sure, that's totally acceptable. Sacred site. I also have to defend that now, by the way. I I'm not sure how we defend it, but we gotta defend it now, by the way. We have to. We could do the damage into Northwest 2 instead with Pyroclastic Flow, and then we don't get the Blight. The thought, I guess. And Infinite Vitality in Northeast 1 is actually really important though, isn't it? We don't have to do it. Well, I guess that's a cascade, right? You have... You're gonna be at 6 energy. You can play both of your cards right now. Your claim, you don't have that energy. But does it make more sense to reclaim? Doesn't Twine Power help us more? Odin is reclaiming and also gaining a power card. That power card's major. Rapid Wings for the win? Again, that could have been Thunder Speaker. But Thunder Speaker's not getting power this turn, so it would have been Thunder Speaker. Wings, though, does that solve something? Solves a Ravage somewhere, maybe? Quest 1 has to be dealt with somehow. That's a Blight. Does it have to be? I don't know. You have to deal with the builds and the Blights. Problem. Killing towns deals with some of the towns, right? If I'm doing Infinite Vitality into Northeast 1, Dahan have +4 health in target land, so that's they have 6 health. So even if this is only defend 5, it's 3 damage, but with 6 health Dahan, they don't die. So Rapid Wings would be okay for Northeast 1. The problem though, big problem though, is you're only playing 2 cards, and those 2 cards were already decided to be Bloodrack Plague and other thing. Because we need to defend East 5. And I guess we don't have to. We do have to defend West. Also putting... Actually, we had Dahan in Northeast 1. We don't even need to defend because... Well, yeah, we do. Or no, sorry, we don't need... Okay. If I do Rapid Wings in the Northeast 1, the Slave Rebellion will actually convert one of the towns. And that way... Like, we don't need the other thing. I keep forgetting the word. The Infinite Vitality. It also gets rid of 2 towns. Nice. We're seeing a lot of things that don't deal with explorers is the problem. But none of these are dealing with explorers anyway. You can gain a power on Vital Strength and hope that it's helpful if we don't need Infinite Vitality for Northeast 1, because there's no real other place for it to go other than to stop a Blight, but that's not what's losing us the game right now. Do you have a place to put this presence down in? I guess Northwest 8. Alright. Major. Unlock the gates! Pent up Calamity right before the Slave Rebellion. That's probably really good. In Strife. And then they will take damage from Dahan. This is range 2. Definitely this. If I do that, I get a repeat on energy 1. So if I do Pent Up Calamity into East 5, then I don't need to do the Bowden defend there. The Dread Apparitions. Second Rapid Wings and Bloodrack Plague. Generates me 0 fear. Your card is Strife, but that helpful right now. Not reclaiming. Get 4 energy if you don't reclaim. None of your things are gonna work super well though, right? I guess we could do Words of Warning into West 5. Or not Words of Warning, an ambush into West 5. That kills 2 explorers. The town converts with the event. And that way we're not getting 3 fear there. Or 3 towns there. We still have like all this still. But we could have like all the bloodshed. I think I'm doing this middle growth to get the 3 card plays. We're not gonna get to manifestations, so this doesn't have to go with Dahan. I mean, it has to, right? But it doesn't have to be super army Dahan, is what I mean. I could just try to spread out the Thunder Speaker so that I could hit lands that I could not normally hit with Lead the Furious. For the jungle build. Can't quite reach there yet, but if you go into Northeast 4, you can. Alternatively, East 1 is going to be super priority, and if I can play Manifestation there, but then I'm not playing Sudden Amp. Threat because we're building 11 towns. We are potentially gaining 4 towns off of the event card, though. And some of these Sand Ravages are going to bring towns back. Some of them. As in, like, only this one. 2 towns there. Slave Rebellion there. Slave Rebellion. We don't actually have a good Slave Rebellion target here, unfortunately. Those are the Slave Rebellion targets. But Call to Bloodshed actually work okay in East whatever if I get Dahan into there. I presume it would be okay. 6 damage. We're gonna convert a town. They're not building, so that's gonna bring everything except for 3 explorers. Oh, but right, yeah, but they're not buildings. Okay. Unless the event card says ignore disease, but if we ignore disease, we're like dead. We're super dead. I'm just gonna do this because I'm not doing manifestation this turn. Then I also have a Words of Warning. Right, I do that for West 4. Right. Okay. Okay. Are we revealing anything? I guess I could do Rapid Wings to get into West 3, and then that reveals the mysterious power source there. Or into North. We still have a repeat on 1. And we only have 3 cards that do that. But repeat on Call to Bloodshed actually is really good, right? Okay, so we do that one. And there. Ambush here. We don't really need to bring anything. Sacrifice our thing here. Yeah, this stops 2 towns. Removes a town and stops 2. Bloodrock Plague here defends this. We need to get 3, 5, 7, 8, 4 health if we can. I don't think we can. I don't even have like good targets for this. Only do 2 from this one. Killing 2 towns is still important though. I could suppose I do Slave Rebellion there, but I think this stops the city and this is important, right? There. That's all my powers. I'm gonna do Call the Bloodshed slow twice. Right for the town. Um, I guess this stops this ravage, which I've otherwise not done anything for. There's no slave rebellion I can hit here. Oh yeah, that was also slave rebellion did. Nice. I forgot about that draft town down there. Add blight to land adjacent to blight, prevent it by destroying 2 presents. Beasts generate fear if invaders are present. Add Dahan to an inland land with Dahan. Do you have any inland land with mysterious locations that we can do with that? No. Blight's fine, right? Team Blight. Oh, but not there. Click there. But that's fine. Because that's blighting and would be a cast. If I clicked that. How much blight are we even putting on the board this turn? Oh, we're still... Wait. Are we losing? Hold on. Hit back. Let's see. Blight. Blight with Cascade. Blight. That's defended. Blight with Cascade. Blight. Blight. Oh. I was supposed to strafe the town there. I said I was going to because I said with the slave rebellion we don't need it. Well, that's a problem. Can't rewind because we revealed this new card. Okay. Where's John to tell me that I screwed up? John, you forsaken me in my time of need. And those are the lands. 1, 2. Normal blades. 1. Cascades. Yeah, okay. Getting 10 blight on this. Potentially more if there's no valid cascade target. This could cascade into here and it has to. Unfortunately. I clicked here before, but now that means that cascade has to happen into there. Or I could go there, I guess. That's not blight, that's fine. Okay. I have to figure this out before I put any blight down, whether I don't have enough blight to leave the game right now. There's no blight on this board. Cascade here, there's a target there. Yeah, so we're only getting 10 blight. But because we only have 10 blight, I can only put 2 down. Unless they do an escalation into a land, in which case, be wary. Because if they do sands, like sands is going to cascade in northeast already, so I don't think I can put any blight down. I guess I have to destroy presence then. Presence from each board to be protected. And now I kind of wish I took the major power that said place destroyed presence back on the board. Maybe I destroy one from both. Your tokens where they are. You don't need your sacred site. Or sorry, this is you do need a sacred site for rituals. One. Lots of presents to burn here. Here it's just Thunder Speaker though. Inland land with Dahan. Well, this is definitely not as easy as the other France game. That was France 1. Of course. Oh yeah, we have this. That actually stops Cascade. Stops this one. Got 3 different lands. Definitely there. Okay. That stops that blade. That stops this cascade. That stops this cascade. So I didn't have to put as much. I didn't have to destroy as many. Now we're only getting 5 blight. This cascade can't be stopped. But we can now cascade in Northwest 2, and that saves a presence. I can't stop that one. Stop that one. That is not stoppable either. So I could do future proofing, put it into East 1. After I do all of the Call to Bloodshed stuff there, then I don't have to defend it at all. Also, are we losing the towns? Oh shoot, we're still losing the towns. No, the ravage hasn't happened yet. Are we? I don't think we're only destroying 2 towns. I think we lose. I think we lose. It is a shame. Tried our damnedest. It is a shame. I don't think there was that much more I could have done. We just didn't see powers that dealt with explorers that well, I feel like. It could also just be me being bad. Because I tend to be bad sometimes. Only sometimes, though. I'm not always bad. Did we lose to the rules here? I think we lost to the sands rule. Because that put... That made them build in like 3 different sands where they weren't building otherwise. And it also put towns down. And that came from over here, I think. No. It came from over here. If I had gotten this and we had gotten this, it actually would have been a lot easier. I don't know that this one mattered as much. I did put extra blight down, but it's like we're not losing to blight. We're losing to towns. Just more for the rest. I don't think the order actually mattered, but I just wanted to deal with the lands I could deal with first. I didn't even know that was a mysterious location. That was not a priority this turn anyway. The plantations have grown too large and numerous. The invaders will triumph. We lost to the alternate condition. France on thematic is tough though, because there are more builds and therefore more towns and therefore less room to build, or less room to move. 22 blight on the island. Oh well. Defeat is 0 points. We also did not find the other mysterious power. And I remember once Seamus said, could you allow us to know what it is? And John said, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be whatever it is. I personally think it matters. I mean, sure, it could reveal some random information, but like, I'd rather know, man. I'd rather know. So instead, we have to play the hypotheticals. What if the other mysterious power was a lizard scale? We did have a lot of energy this game, so the invaders getting that wouldn't have been too bad. I don't know how many fire powers we had. We had a number, right? I think Call the Bloodshed was at least fire. But the plus damage, we weren't doing that much damage directly, I think was part of the problem. Yeah, I think we almost had damage happening, but I think we were too defensive, I guess, was part of it. But we didn't really get many good powers for that, even though we were taking majors left and right. Spirits getting only 1 card play would have been really bad, unless it was revealed on turn 1, in which case it's basically turn 1. -3 damage on a Ravage wouldn't have changed the game. Powers don't gather or push invaders unless Spirit spends extra energy. We weren't actually doing that much gathering and pushing of invaders. We had like the Vital Strength power that did it, but... And also, I guess, the thing. I don't know. Powers with plus range, I don't know if that would have actually helped us. Visibility wasn't really the problem, sort of. I mean, occasionally it was, but I don't think it was really what lost the game. Not targeting a land with powers. Again, I mean, it depends on where it was, but removing everything from a land in the game. I mean, if we had gotten that early, then we could have prevented the loss potentially. Select the land with the most towns and remove that, or prevent the build with the most towns. So really the lather sack. And I think the other aspect of this, again, you know, John will say it doesn't matter because it could have been anywhere, but like, if it was revealed where that mysterious, or where that power source was and what that power source was, so the where and what could have influenced like a future game, right? Like if I knew that the leather sack was over here, even if I know that like it doesn't necessarily mean leather sack will be here in a future game. Well, we already searched that, but like if it was over here, for instance, you know, yeah, now. Plus, I think it would be kind of cool to see in the end where all of them were, because you kind of don't get that with this. But that's more just like quality of life stuff that doesn't actually matter. There's bigger priorities like making sure the game works, making sure everything is programmed, getting Sentinels of Earth Prime active because it is an active development and so therefore needs to be done first. Because believe it or not, Handelabra is actually a very small team. And so the reason that, you know, it takes them months to program stuff is because it takes months to program stuff, actually. But also, they don't have as many working hands as a AAA company because they're an indie company. Anyway, that will wrap things up for this week. Unfortunately, this game ended in a loss because I'm bad at this game, I guess. This is difficulty 1. What, they started with the... They had this before we had these, did they? I don't remember. But I know they started with one. It wasn't this. This is the last one they got, I think. And that didn't really change the game at all. If we had gotten this, that certainly could have swung it more in our direction, but... Yeah, I think it's just a combination of France on thematic, which in the previous France game I had, it was France on thematic, and that was a trashing, but We couldn't overcome the town disadvantage. We were already losing the towns on turn 2, and so we had to focus our efforts on that, and we were always playing catch-up for the rest of the game as the result. But the scenario didn't help either, because it gave the adversaries benefits that, like, the Sands builds also gave the invaders too much benefit. So we don't always win, as it turns out. So point to this video the next time someone says, "Don't they ever lose? I only ever see them winning. This game's stupid because they always win. Why would I play it if you always win?" But anyway, that does wrap things up for this week. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Check out the other streams you have on this channel. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. is Handelabra Live with John. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. is Dolphins Dive with yours truly. Every Friday at 4 p.m. is Luck of the Seamus with Seamus the Hug Monster. And every Saturday at 2 p.m. is Spirit Island Saturdays. The Handelabra products include Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island. They're all available on the Steam, iOS, and Android devices. One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch. And Sentinels of Earth Prime is in active development. Follow us at twitch.tv/Handelabra Games to enjoy some of our streams, or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for some social media. Follow me at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, pretty much any avenue for some Final Fantasy 13 content primarily, sometimes Slay the Spire if I'm so inclined. But that will wrap things up for this week. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed your stay, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.